We're back from Seton Hill University, and we're talking to authors today that are at the
In Your Right Mind conference. That is an alum sponsored conference that runs concurrent with the MFA residencies that they hold here in June. So that means lots and lots of people and lots of great creative energy here on campus.
Speaking creative energy,
We got two great people here. We have Ann Kopchik and Mike Mehalek.
well, I wanted to start off kind of by asking you both about your recent works, and then we can kind of go into your persona a little bit from there. So what have you been working on recently?
Recently, I've been writing erotic romance.
Okay.
And I actually write under the name Anna Szabo. That came out actually last year in November. I had a novel come out, and then just this past May, I had a short story in the same universe come out, same characters.
Oh, nice.
So that's what I've been working
It's
on.
always good when you can use those characters again, because you spend so
Yeah.
much time building the world and being with those characters that I like little follow-ups like that too.
And Mike?
And I am working on my manuscript, Only Human, which it's an urban fantasy. So it's a story about a dragon who is convicted for a crime that he did not commit, so he has to spend the rest of his life as a human. And so I am in the process of working. I know we talked with other people earlier about different paths to publication, so I'm working on getting this thing set up to self-publish, which Heidi has assured me I will be able to get out this year if I get moving on it. So that's my most current.
And that was his thesis novel here at
Yes.
Seton Hill, in fact.
Now, you both have embraced writing, but are there other mediums of storytelling that you enjoy? Let me just ask, television or motion picture, which do you enjoy more?
Probably motion picture, actually, because the stories are longer. I like, sitting down and really immersing myself into something for a large chunk of time, which is why I guess I like reading.
Sure.
Is that you can invest the time. If you're going to sit down and do something, investing the time for a while and getting a really good story, and then being able to sort of come out and be, wow, that was really fun. That was really good.
So what's your favorite movie?
Actually, my favorite movie is the Kenneth Branagh Henry V play, the movie version that came out in 1989.
And how do you feel about movie adaptations of books?
It depends on the adaptation. Some of them are really good, and some of them, sometimes it's you have the book and you have the movie, and they're really kind of two different things. Like the perfect example of that is Blade Runner,
Right.
the movie, where the movie is fantastic. It's a great movie. It's nothing like Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, and that's okay.
Right.
The book itself is a really good novel. It's just that they're sort of similar settings, but different stories in some ways.
Right.
So.
I feel that way sometimes too, where it's okay for it to stand alone in this particular medium as well as a book. How about you? You like TVs or do you like movie?
I like both. I do like the idea of like the movie and kind of setting up. I think everybody kind of who writes, I think it's in their mind always thinks of like wanting something they're writing, regardless of what you're writing, even if it's like poetry or flash fiction or a longer piece. You picturing it being made into something like a movie. But I do like the TV shows that they've come out more now. Where I think it's probably 24 kind of kicked it off, where we have the serials now, where you can kind of get that big overarching storyline over a season or over multiple seasons. So. And I do like the idea of what Ann said of how you can kind of get more from it, and it's interesting how they continue to find ways to try to make kind of get that complexity as audiences, as we move farther along in these technologies, that we become a more savvy audience, so they have to become more savvy in how they present it to us to keep us entertained.
Yeah, that's true. There used to be episodic things, and
Right.
now they have these seasons with arcs, which is a lot of fun.
Right.
They've also, when they started doing that with television, with they went away from the traditional season. You
Right.
didn't have to worry about selling this many shows and this is how it was going to fit in,
Right.
because
Or when it was going to start.
absolutely it's non-traditional. Where you're starting it Sunday right after the Super Bowl and running,
And then you can
until
take
the
that
end of the
long
year.
break and they're lost.
Sure.
Drive you mad.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there's kind of been a shift in that television industry,
Right.
which has been an industry trying to distinguish itself for a long time anyway.
Yeah, that's for sure. Here's a good question then. Speaking of that, each of you, who would you have play your main character if you could choose?
I am never good at that answer.
Actually, some writers don't like to answer that even.
I don't. I have such a. I'm a visual person, and I don't tend to visual like stars in the roles because I see them in the roles they've done, and it's sort of hard to like then map them onto like the characters that I have in my head. So it's really hard to, and I'm not really a filmmaker, so if I were be lucky enough to have a movie made out of something that I've written, I would probably leave that up to the producer to find the best people for the roles.
You know, sometimes whenever you ask that question, you end up getting into an actor that's been typecast. You know, I know some authors are more complex, so they've thought about this person, how they could, but if you think about someone like a Robin Williams, where he can fit the really funny roles, but then those like 1 hour photo, which is just a freaky movie and completely different, you know, maybe he would work better for someone. So I think the casting question is sometimes difficult. But Mike, is that one you want to answer?
Well, for me, I've been working on this story for so long. The people that I thought we cast for are getting too old to play the parts. So one person for actually my villainess. I think Meryl Streep would be great. It would be the voice of a dragon, and then also she would have a role and sort of Dublin Prada kind of. Meryl Streep is sort of that was the image that was in my mind when I kind of wrote that part for my story. So
that's interesting. I have done that where I have had either an actor or I've had a character that actor has played somehow in mind that has influenced what I have written at some point.
So in the future, what's up next?
Well, right now I'm working on a fantasy novel under my own name. Hopefully, how am I going to publish it is under what persona is a question I have to come up with. But I recently acquired a New York literary agent, and so we're working on revisions to that to have it go out in submission to publishers. So
is that what you've been submitting to Science Fiction Fantasy Saturday by chance?
Not the same. It's same world. Not
same
that
world.
Same world. That's a short story based on the same world. Yes.
Because she already has a fan base that loves this world based on these. We do these snippets on Science Fiction Fantasy Saturday, and it is absolutely wonderful. So I can see why someone wanted to snatch that up.
And they can find that on your blog.
They can find that on the Science Fiction Fantasy Saturday
Okay.
blog. It has everyone. Yeah, it has all of the participants on it.
And then for me, I'm working right now, I'm kind of probably through a manuscript for, it's a story of a guy who, he has a disease that's sort of like schizophrenia, where he's able to see inside people's heads and see their thoughts. So the hallucinations and things he sees are actually other people's thoughts. So if like he sees, you know, a nightmare, there's like a dragon and it's coming after him, he's like, there's a kid up the street dreaming of a dragon and he sees it. So, and so he's able to see thoughts, and so when he sees bad things happening to people, he goes in and tries to help those people. And then I've been chipping away at this for a long time, but another kind of a thing, there's a collection of short stories where if you take love songs, quite literally they become horror stories. So things like My Heart Will Go On or Dream Lover. So I've been working with a couple of those. The most recent one was Annie's song by Denver. So I've been playing with those because they've been just kind of fun. So hopefully I can put that together at some point.
I think that would be great, because I have long wanted to see a horror film that uses like 70s, 80s love ballads as the soundtrack. Like I'll be watching you. What was it?
That would be good.
Yeah, it was
Every step you take,
Sting,
every
right?
Yeah,
Was it?
Sting.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Every breath
freaky?
you-
Like
every
if
breath you
someone's
take,
outside
yeah.
your window?
It would be freaky no matter if they were singing or not if they were outside my window. So.
Well, hey, regardless of what the soundtrack is, we are out of time. We have a couple more interviews for you here today at Seton Hill University. I want to thank both of you for being with us. Please learn about them. Great work coming out.
Check out Ann Kopchik online and Mike Mehalek.